Ukrainian aviation continues to deliver powerful strikes across all active fronts. New footage from the Southern Command shows Su-27 fighter jets in action, targeting Russian assault groups near key mining areas. Pilots deployed precision-guided munitions, including U.S.-supplied GBU-39 and GBU-62 bombs, striking with pinpoint accuracy. These coordinated airstrikes are disrupting enemy movements and weakening frontline pressure. In Russia's Chita, during a Victory Day celebration, locals watched a mock-up of a Soviet plane dangling from a crane, Pernexta. It seems they were trying to mimic an air show, or maybe shoot something down? It's unclear. Russia's Victory Day celebrations glorify the Soviet World War II triumph, reinforcing a state-driven nostalgia that fuels national pride, military culture, and support for current authoritarian narratives. Russia has deployed General Sergei Surovikin, a former commander of Russian invasion forces in Ukraine, to Algeria as the head of a group of military specialists. That was reported by the Kommersant newspaper, citing pro-Kremlin telegram channels and photos published by the Russian embassy in Algeria. Surovikin led Russia's military operations in Ukraine from October 2022 to January 2023. During his tenure, Russian troops retreated from the western bank of the Dnipro River in the Kherson region under pressure from the defense forces of Ukraine. After being removed from his post, he continued as commander of the Russian aerospace forces until August 2023. Surovikin disappeared from public view following the Wagner Group's failed mutiny in June 2023. Media reports at the time speculated that he may have supported the rebellion and had been detained. In February 2025, Viktor Sobolev, a member of the State Duma's Defense Committee, said Surovikin was working as a military advisor in an unspecified African country. Today, May 12th, the Kommersant newspaper, citing pro-war Russian telegram channels, reported that Sergei Surovikin is working in Algeria. He was identified in photos posted by the Russian embassy in Algeria on May 9th. Though not identified by name, the embassy referred to him as the head of a group of Russian military specialists. Surovikin, a controversial figure in Russian military history, first gained notoriety during the failed August 1991 coup in the Soviet Union. Then a young officer, he ordered his unit to break through a blockade by demonstrators, resulting in the deaths of 3 civilians. 1 was crushed by an infantry fighting vehicle, and 2 more were shot. He was arrested but released 7 months later on orders from then-President Boris Yeltsin. In 1995, the Moscow Garrison Court convicted him of involvement in illegal arms sales, sentencing him to 1 year of probation. He was later acquitted and the charges were dropped. Poland has ordered the closure of the Russian Federation's consulate in Krakow, following the discovery of Russian intelligence involvement in an arson attack on a Warsaw shopping center. Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski announced the decision, citing evidence that the agents of Russia's military intelligence agency, the GRU, had orchestrated the attack. The fire occurred on May 12, 2024, and was initially described by Prime Minister Donald Tusk as lacking the clear signs of sabotage. However, by the end of that month, Tusk acknowledged that deliberate arson could not be ruled out. It was the most serious in a string of arson attacks reported across Poland. According to the Polish prosecutor's office, one of the key suspects, Danilo B., allegedly received the instructions from Russian operatives to film the fire and the emergency response, then send the footage to Russia for use in propaganda. Another suspect, Alexander V., is accused of coordinating the filming operation. Both are believed to have been part of a broader network planning arson attacks on high-profile targets in EU countries to spread fear among the population. Danilo B. is currently detained in Lithuania and faces the charges of conducting foreign intelligence activities against Poland and committing sabotage with terrorist intent. Charges have also been filed against Alexander Fey, but he remains at large in Russia. In February 2025, Polish and Allied intelligence agencies disclosed that the GRU had formed a new division in 2023 focused on sabotage operations in Europe. The unit, known by the abbreviation SSD, is suspected of orchestrating a series of high-profile incidents, including the placement of incendiary devices on DHL cargo aircraft and attempted arsons in cities such as Leipzig and Warsaw. The SSD is believed to have 3 core missions: carrying out assassinations and sabotage abroad, infiltrating Western institutions, and recruiting foreign agents. The European Union and the United States have imposed sanctions on several SSD operatives, accusing them of organizing attempted coups, targeted killings, and cyber attacks across Europe. Svitlana, a nurse from the 128th Brigade of the Territorial Defense Forces of Ukraine, destroyed a group of Russian occupiers with a well-aimed shot from a grenade launcher, saving her unit from encirclement. When the Russians attacked with armored vehicles and landing forces, Svitlana was at the company stronghold. At that moment, the unit was left without a commander, so she took command. Svitlana received instructions via radio from the battalion commander. After a group of Russians entered one of the houses from the rear and took fire control of the escape routes, Ukrainian warriors were surrounded. At first, Svitlana fired back together with her brothers in arms. But when it became clear that the unit's positions were surrounded, the woman picked up a disposable grenade launcher. I asked the guys to hold on and in no case leave their positions because then we would definitely not be able to stand it. I took a disposable grenade launcher and went to meet the Russian attack unit. They got too close. They were only 2 houses away. I went around them, got up and fired a shot into the window of the house. The entire group of occupiers remained there, Svitlana recalls. For her heroism, she was awarded the Cross of the Ground Forces. Svitlana worked as a nurse in the intensive care unit of the Mechnikov Hospital in Dnipro. She voluntarily went to the front from the first days of the full-scale invasion. Source: the 128th Territorial Defense Brigade's press service. President Trump said European Union is in many ways nastier than China on trade. Friends, what are your thoughts on all the recent statements?
This means American patients were effectively subsidizing socialist healthcare systems in Germany, in all parts of the European Union. They were the toughest of all. They were nasty. And I see that with trade too. European Union is in many ways nastier than China. Okay? And we've just started with them. Oh, they'll come down a lot. You watch. We have all the cards. They treated us very unfairly.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.